Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Sematary, also known as Horror Fan for Life. And my last movie review for today is one I'm really excited to talk about. This is a remake slash reboot, whatever you want to call it, of Pet Sematary. Um, Pet Sematary was released on April 15th, 2019. This is a supernatural horror film. This one received mixed reviews with critics. On CinemaScore, it has an average grade of a C+. It has a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb, a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 73% on Google. This movie cost $21 million to make, and it made $112.4 million at the box office. It was directed by Dennis Widmeyer and Kevin Kolsch, and written by Jeff Bormer. And this is the second adaptation of the 1983 novel by Stephen King. And this one stars Jason Clarke, Amy Simez, if I'm pronouncing her last name right, John Lithgow, Jet Lawrence, and Hugo and Lucas Lavorne as Gage Creed. This movie, if you haven't seen the original, this one is completely different for the most part. They did use some elements from the original movie, but I love what they did, switching it up, especially with the characters of Gage and Ellie. I'm not going to say what, but I like what they did with those two characters. I also love what they did with the family. Something we didn't see in the original. The ending. I love the ending. I love how they ended this movie. There's talks of a prequel, which we'll get into that later. But this movie, you have the Creed family who moved to a new home. Across the way, they have a neighbor, Judd Crandall, played by John Lithgow, and he tells them of a place, Pet Sematary. But in the original movie, he tells them about the place. In this one, the daughter Ellie stumbles upon it, and he then tells her, and eventually the father and mother about the Pet Sematary. Um, the cat gets hit by the trucks because they don't pay attention to what they're doing, and so they have to. They don't have to, but Judd and Mr. Creed decided to go take the cat and first buried it in the Pet Cemetery, but Judd tells them a better place, and they take him up there where the ground is sour and all these different legends and this Indian burial ground. And when the cat comes back, it's not like it used to be, all sweet and everything. It comes back basically sour like the ground, evil, just mean cat. And from there, like I said, if you've seen the original, you kind of know what's going to happen. But like I said, I love what they did with the characters as far as switching things up. The tone and the atmosphere of this movie is freaking awesome. It's really creepy, and the look of I love Ellie in this movie. She is my favorite character, besides Judd, of course. But she is my favorite character in this movie. Her portrayal of her character is phenomenal. I love what she does in this movie, and she is the standout. And of course, you gotta love the twins who play Gage. But I think the original Gage I liked a lot more in the first movie, but there's reasons why. Because he was the focus on what takes place, especially in the third act. Whereas in this movie, his character is taking a step back, and I'll just leave it at that. But as far as a remake, reboot, wherever you want to call it, I don't care what you call it. I love this movie. I love what they did with it. A lot of things they changed up, and I loved it. I didn't have no flaws with this movie. The original movie from 1989, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm going to give Pet Sematary 2019 a 10 out of 10 and 2 thumbs up. Um, that movie, original one, wasn't well received either. It had a 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, which it beat this remake, but only had a 52% on Rotten Tomatoes compared to 57% with this one. And it had an 89% on Google, which it beat this one as well. And the budget for the original movie was 11.5 million compared to 21 million, and then the box office numbers 57.5 for the original and 112.4 for the remake. And of course, the original had a sequel that came out on August 28th, 1992. Only did about 17 million at the box office, which I actually have a soft spot with the second one, but definitely not as good as the original in this remake. The original starred Dale Midcliffe as Lewis, Denise Crosby as Rachel, Fred Gwynn as Judd Crandall. Miko Hughes as Gage was phenomenal, and Blaise Burdall as Ellie. Ellie in the original movie was kind of whiny, and I really didn't like that character. And then you had Mrs. Creed's sister in flashbacks, which in both movies are creepy as hell. But in this one, they expanded upon that character and her flashbacks and fears of her sister. And I love that. In this movie, it does focus on Ellie's character more than it did in the original. But I loved Judd in the original one just a little bit more in this one, but it's neck and neck. Um, I liked I liked the wife in this movie, Amy Seismitz. I liked her better than the original Rachel, and of course Miko Hughes. I loved him as Gage. Even though the two boys, the twins that played him in this remake, they were good, but they weren't as good as Miko. Miko was just phenomenal. But they also had different roles too. Obviously, when you watch both movies, you'll see what I'm talking about. But as far as this goes, like I said, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 and 2 thumbs up. It's freaking awesome. And I also left my review for it on IMDb as well. Other than that, in the comment section below, if you've seen this movie, give me your thoughts and opinions. And of the two, which one is your favorite? Do you like the original more, or do you like this remake? I love this remake just a little bit more than the original, but they're both great films. Other than that, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe today for more content. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. And as always, share this video on your social media as you see fit to. Stay tuned for many more movie reviews. And as always, on Tuesdays is when I watch new movies when they come out to rent. And I will do reviews for those on Tuesdays, unless I have company here, which will make it on Wednesday. But other than that, I thank you guys for watching, and check you later.